Hi everyone, I hope you're all well. I hope you had a good half term, at least until we had our Saturdays slightly disrupted, didn't we, with Boris and the latest announcement. So we know that we are heading into national lockdown territory again from Thursday. So I'll say a little bit in a moment about what that means for SFE, but I just wanted to focus for a second on perhaps a more important bit of that in terms of well-being and how we make sure we prioritise our own well-being at this time. I don't know how you felt when those restrictions were announced on Saturday. I certainly had a sense of, really? Not again? Can we get a refund on 2020? Even though, if I'm being honest, I think we could see it coming, or at least tier 3 type restrictions coming to Birmingham. So it just struck me again over the weekend that we need to be really careful on how we prioritise our own well-being at this time. Some of you will perhaps be feeling more uncertain about going back into schools at the moment, even though you know and we know that we've put all the safety measures in place, but that doesn't take necessarily away the anxiety of that. Some of you will be feeling the weight of having to work from home all the time. Again, I know those of you in the Holt Court bubble have appreciated the fact that you can go in to Holt Court a couple of times a week, and after tomorrow, unfortunately, that won't be possible. And of course, we're all feeling the impact of not being able to see friends and family as we would like them to. I must confess that I have got a booking at the Heated Marquee down the road for the next couple of the next couple of evenings to catch up with some friends before it becomes a little bit more difficult. But I read an article the other day, which I'll probably share the link with you on the email that goes out with this video. And rather than it being from some management guru, it's from the comedian Miranda Hart. And if you read through to the halfway point, she talks about the pressure she felt in the last lockdown. And I'm just going to read a bit of it to you. She talks about we didn't have the excuse not to, at the very least, sort the sock drawer, then ideally remodel the entire house, buy a yoga mat to tone muscle groups we had never even heard of, and take up an orchestral instrument. Obviously we would agree with that one. Life in lockdown led to an internal battle to justify our existence, be changed and refined, discover who we truly are, and first step, become bilingual overnight. And yes, that is a certain tongue-in-cheek Miranda style to it, but she talks about in the article the acronym KISS, keep it simple and straightforward, which got me thinking that there's a lot to be said for us all picking one or two very straightforward things that we're going to do or try and do to prioritise our own emotional health during this next period. So for me, I have got my new cookery book, Nadia Bakes, so I'm certainly going to be trying some of those. And I also seem to have already in this period developed a bit of an obsession with gardening and mini plants, so I shall perhaps put a picture of that on Yammer. And it would be good if other people could contribute to that discussion and just think about how we can support each other in this period. So I wanted to start with the well-being thought, because I really do think that's the important thing at the moment to not pass over. But I know you will have questions about what, if anything, this means for SFE. Well, really, at the moment, nothing changes. Something I talked about when talking to you all before the break was that we will always act on the information that we have got at that time. It doesn't mean we don't scenario plan for what else might happen. So we are thinking about what would happen if schools were to close completely, and how could we transform the music delivery straight away back onto online. In our school support area, actually, a lot of that is already online, and where we are due in schools, as long as we are welcome back in, we will continue to do that. But for now, schools remain open. So for now, it's business as usual. Stuart and I, from a music point of view, have written today to Music Mark, the Arts Council, Jane Francis, the Cabinet Member at the Council for Skills and Culture, and Tim O'Neill, the Director of Education, advocating their support for, while schools are open, we want to be delivering in school if we possibly can. You might remember that early on, before the last lockdown, there was an instruction from the Arts Council and DFE for us not to go into schools, and that's not where we want to be, because we know we have put measures in place to do that safely and securely. So for now, on the basis of what we know today, nothing changes. Stuart has also written to all head teachers saying that we will be in schools as normal. But as we know, a week is a long time in politics. I think a day is also a long time in politics. So things may well change. Before half term, I talked to you about the payroll measures we were going to look to be taking. So we talked about colleagues that were in one of 3 different groups in music. And Stuart's going to send out an email tomorrow which will just explain our next steps with regard to that, because like I said, we plan to continue with those changes at the moment. If something else happens, and the something else really would be if schools were to close completely, or if we were not allowed to go into schools and we weren't allowed to replace all our delivery virtually, then we might have to look at things a little bit differently. So apologies, that's a little bit waffly, but I think you know that's where we are at the moment. It's a watch this space, and know that as more information comes out, we will continue to, or I will continue to communicate. So please do keep an eye on these videos, keep an eye on your email, and then you can be sure that you know what you need to know at any point in time. Have a good week. Thanks.